What's up, YouTube? Going 3 for 3 today. Just as always, going to jump right into this. Our first trade was on VERU. This one was a tricky one. It started way down here. Previous high from Friday, 1407. We didn't have many shares. When we first pulled it up, it was at like 1360, 1380. And I think we had like 9,000 shares. And I basically said, no thanks. But as this kept climbing, I remember I was watching something else, live trades over on Twitch. I will be the first pinned comment down below if you want to come watch those. However, I was watching the shares available and it went up to like 11,000 and then it went up to 14,000. And as it started to go up through the previous high from Friday, I was actually kind of interested because it was the best move we had seen all morning. But also I was interested because the shares weren't disappearing. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll wait until I see a clear jiggle and we'll try to top it. And if I'm wrong, I'll just cut it at the highs just in case we run out of shares. So that's what I did. It went up to, if we zoom in, this candle was 1439. We ended up getting filled at 1428 on the way down and put a take profit out right in front of that high from Friday. And it came down, got us, and then luckily we got out, shot all the way back up towards the highs, and it tried twice and ultimately failed. But again, as you know, we look for that intense move through previous resistance, up through those key areas, half dollar, whole dollars, as you can see, the whole dollar here, and we look for the retest of those areas. That's what we did, and it worked out. So as you can see, we only made 15 bucks on it, so it was pretty small, but that was definitely because of the amount of shares that we had available. Definitely would have probably hit this with a little bit of size had we had the shares available. FUTU was our second trade. Zoom out, you can see previous day highs is actually the gap up here. So it wasn't previous day, it was actually pre-market, 55. It came up at the bell, made a high of 56, came up again, tried to shoot up. Wasn't really a fan of this one, didn't like the extension that much, and it barely went through the half dollar there, considering this thing was, every 50 cents. But this move here was a little bit more intriguing, right? This wasn't really that much of a pullback. Now we're starting to get extended from that 56 area. Drew this one just to see where we were on the way back down if we get it. Went up, started the jiggle pretty clearly, and so we took a starter. At 57.61 is where we got filled. This thing came down to 57.54. And it just sat there. There was somebody soaking up shares. And I think if we zoom in a little bit more, you can see on this candle here. Yeah, 57.54 is the low of that candle because someone was just soaking the shares. And then it would shoot back up a little bit. But the key here is that even though they were soaking some shares, nobody was buying past high of day. So it went to 76 was the high, or 72 was the high day here, went to 76, and then someone would soak at 54, but it never went to high day. It just kind of went back up into the 60s and then came back down to 54, back up to 60, back down to 54. So to me, it felt like it was just a matter of time before it finally went through. And I even said live on stream, if you want to go check the trade out, that once we broke that 54, whoever was soaking those shares, that we were probably just going to go right through 50. And we did. And this shot down pretty quickly. And went down. I think our order was at 13. Let me see. FUTU 4. It was at 14. And as you can see, this went to 16. So we ended up dragging our order up, and we got filled at 20. But a decent little win on something that wasn't necessarily an A+ setup, but it was a pretty decent setup. As you can see, it popped up right after we got filled because we realized that I wanted to obviously get filled where I have my order, but it stopped at 16 and clearly started to not want to go any lower. So we took it off, and you can see this candle actually finished at 44. So pretty good cover there. Tried to go a little bit higher, came all the way back down, and then as you can see, it did try to curl its way up and then ultimately failed. So nice little descending triangle there as well. Last trade was IOVA. Nothing too special on this one. Previous resistance from Friday, 1092, got through the whole dollar of 11. Went all the way up to 11.24. We get filled at 11.19. I was actually mad at myself because we should have top ticked this one. It had a pretty clear jiggle at 24. I could have hit 23. It was just sitting there. But I waited for the bid to get hit, and as I did, I got a little bit of a late fill there on the way down. And just front ran the whole dollar, looking for it to come back down at 11.09, just looking for that 10 cents, and we got filled. So pretty good there. What did we take? 200 shares on that? 100. I was only 100 shares. Oh yeah, 200 shares. I was gonna say, how did we only make, or how did we make 20 on 100? But yeah. So that's all we got. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Always appreciate that support. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. You can ask me on Discord or over on Twitter. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.